This is the plaintiff, Rocco Nisavaccia. He says he was hired by the defendant to shoot a promotional video based on her daughter's experience with cochlear implants, a device used to help deaf people hear. He told her he'd volunteer his time, and when they raised the money to make a full-fledged film, he'd direct it and share creative control with her. Now that they've raised the money for the film, the defendant's going back on the deal and is telling him he's no longer needed. Huh? He's suing for $2,910, the amount of money he's out and is owed. This is the defendant, Lisa Resnick. She says the plaintiff tried to take credit for writing the script to the movie they were going to make about her daughter, who got the hearing implants when she was 2 years old. The guy was trying to wrestle control of everything. It was like he wanted to go from helping her to taking over. She never made any agreements with the frustrated filmmaker and doesn't owe him a penny. She's accused of yelling, "Cut," way too soon.
All parties, please raise your right hands. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Nisavaccia Films, represented here by the owners, Rocco Nisavaccia and Ralph Riccardi.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
You are suing Lisa Resnick for $2,910, the amount that you say she owes you for shooting a promotional video that she has not paid you. Go ahead. Talk
Fantastic.
to me.
So several months ago, Lisa, through a mutual colleague, Lisa was introduced to a film that we had done already previously before meeting her. She had wanted for a film festival. So we said, fantastic, no problem. We gave her the film. And then we got to talking, and then she's doing a short film about her daughter, who's now a teenager, who is deaf.
Would that be you? Mm-hmm. Okay. Tell me about the film that you want to make.
It's called I Can Hear You, and it's about the struggle of a family hearing the diagnosis that their young child is deaf, and they have no experience in knowing how to overcome this kind of disability. And at this point in time, our daughter, who's 16, has really done very well academically.
Come on up, honey. Right there, that microphone. What's your name?
I'm Miranda Myers.
She has cochlear implants, right?
Yes, she has one now. Kids are getting two, but she got one at the time when she was 2, and she is apprehensive to go for surgery to get a second one, but she may at one point in time. So we wanted
I want you to explain to me how, either one of you, how a cochlear implant works, because it may be one of the most fascinating developments in medical science that I've ever heard of. And I have 2 sets of friends whose children have cochlear implants, so I am familiar with this struggle, and I'm involved with an organization in Miami, Barton G's Kids Here Now. And Kids Here Now, I don't know if you've heard of it before, but they've done a lot of fundraising in this regard to help families who can't afford cochlear implants get those cochlear implants.
Yes, we have heard of the organization. It's wonderful.
So I am familiar with this struggle, and so tell me, but I want you to tell me about it. Explain how it works.
Miranda, you want to do the talking?
Sure. There's a little piece that goes inside, like just under the skin, and it's a little circle with a wire that comes off, and the wire goes around the cochlea.
You want to show how it works?
Yeah, sure.
There's the internal part that's implanted surgically, and then there's the external part that cannot get wet.
Okay. When was it, and you had it done at 2? Mm-hmm. Well, put that back. You had it done at 2?
Yeah, it was 2, right? Yeah, it was 2.
Do you remember you don't remember not hearing? It was just so. And at the time, when you say at the time they were doing one, that was the custom and that was the medical knowledge, but now they do 2.
Right. With 2, you can locate where the sound is coming from, like an emergency sound, like a siren or...
You have you're fearful about getting the second one in?
Yeah, and I'm also, I'm doing fine with just 1, so...
Why mess with perfection, right? You got it covered. All right. Now, she tells you about this project.
Correct.
And you have actually someone in your family.
I do. At that time, my family was going through what they went through 16 years ago because my niece unexpectedly lost her hearing. Wasn't sick, nothing.
Lost or never had, or you don't know?
She had it when we were in the hospital. They did the test and everything.
They did the test and right.
Perfect, fine, beautiful baby girl. And then 2 years old, 3 years old, her speech therapist said, I don't think she's hearing me anymore.
Right.
My brother-in-law came home. He's a coach, went behind her with a whistle, blew it, nothing.
Right.
So that my sister got nervous. So she took it to the doctor, and then we learned about this thing called cochlear implants.
Right.
My family now is brand new to this. So where Lisa was
Right.
16 years ago.
Right.
So then a year went by, she got the second one put in.
Right.
And then that's when this film had come up, and I work in film production already. I don't have very much time outside of work. And I thought, what a great way to help my niece spread the word a little bit, because I didn't know anything about this a year and a half ago. So I felt like I was going to be the audience almost.
Right.
So I said, Lisa, this is great. I said, my partners and I, we own our own equipment, we own all our own stuff. We can do these films like how we've been doing our short films for next to nothing, and I'll donate my time, my services, my equipment. Let's make a film about awareness and really get the word out about this.
Now, you have at that moment, you have a plan, and your plan was that you had made a short, what would you call it?
We had made a promotional video that we were going to use on the Kickstarter website.
What is the Kickstarter website?
Okay, that's a crowdsource funding website where you post information about your project to raise money in advance, and you ask for people to pledge money. And if you reach the goal that you set, our goal was $8,000. Some people set a $1,500 goal. Some people set a $100,000 goal. If you reach the pledge amount that you set, then you get the funding.
So you have to set a goal. You had made this video. You hadn't yet put it on Kickstarter.
Right. Rocco wanted to make the video shorter. He thought 6 minutes was too long. It wouldn't hold people's attention. And he thought if people's attention were held the whole time, they would be more inclined to donate. And he offered for no cost at all, to remake the video. So it was our concept with the kids holding the signs, and we have both versions of the video here today if you'd like to see them.
I want to see the finished video, the one that actually made it to Kickstarter.
It's all set.
Deafness in children, like me, still occurs in significant numbers.
I wrote this story so that other families can find out about experiences of a family like ours who had to figure out what to do when we got the diagnosis that our daughter was deaf. We felt alone, and I hope other families will realize that they're not alone in the world.
Before my niece was deaf, I didn't know what a cochlear implant was. I just didn't. I call it ignorance, call it what you want, but I didn't know about this community who lost their hearing and can get it back through these amazing devices. Almost nothing short of a miracle these devices are. We need to make a movie about this. We need to make this short film, and we can't do it without your help.
Your support through contributions in any amount will help us make this film.
We need your help and your support so we can help give hope to those mothers and their children. So any amount you can give, any type of help you can give will be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
You're good on camera too.
Oh, thank you. My mother says I'm very photogenic.
You are very photogenic. Your mother's right. You should listen to her more often. All right. So you make the new clip. It's great. It's the one that goes on Kickstarter. You set a goal. You end up making your goal, and you've got your, I guess, seed money for the film.
Sure.
All right. So now it's time to talk turkey, to see if you can all come to terms.
Correct.
So who drafts the first draft of the agreement?
It was a boilerplate template that Ralph had found. I don't know if it was on, say where, I don't know where you got it from.
Yeah, it was really a boilerplate joint venture agreement.
Okay, can I see that one?
Yes.
Yeah, you have it in your files.
So he sent it to you by email. This is like November? When is it that you receive it?
Well, before we got the agreement, there was a meeting in person where Ralph said, let's have an agreement, and the purpose of the agreement would to protect us in case anyone gets hurt on set. So then he sent an agreement that has, I mean, you need a lawyer to go through something like this. It's got, I don't know how many pages, but it's full of legalese, and it's got so many rules and regulations that you really have to be a lawyer, which I'm not, to understand up to 20 points. And in there is point 11, which I didn't even realize until I had a lawyer look at it, that gives total control of the whole project, including the script writing that I had clearly written about my own daughter. Rocco can't even write a complete sentence, if you've probably noticed in his email, trying to take credit for writing the script.
I actually didn't notice that in his email, but okay. But go on.
Okay.
Full of grammatical errors, and he wanted to be a co-writer on the script.
Okay, you're describing a scenario where you kind of felt like you were being bullied, I think, is what you're saying.
Yes.
That they were trying to take advantage of you.
Yes.
And when you see this, you're like, whoa. They were like running over me, stealing my life. Because this isn't just some creative fiction you wrote, this is your life.
Right, with scientific information in it.
I kind of think you were insulted, right?
And intimidated because I was told face to face by Ralph that the agreement was to serve one purpose. It was to protect us in case someone got hurt on set.
Did you tell her that the only reason that we were going to put something in writing was to protect somebody who got hurt?
No, I told her that would be one of the reasons we would want an LLC, because then we're not personally responsible for
Right.
anything that happened.
But that's not what this 20 points are about. The 20 points are about your agreement with her.
That's the kind of the operating agreement of the LLC.
And can I tell you
Yeah.
one thing, Your Honor? The bullying thing is something that really I don't like, I don't do.
Right.
And I have several emails here that repeatedly ask her to give me your notes.
Make the change. I know.
And we'll make this a
and they
mutual
do.
thing.
They say, all right, don't, it's just a first draft. Just tell us
Yeah.
what you want. I know. But
Okay,
see,
thank
let me
you.
just tell you guys something, though.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
I know. If you sent that to me, I'd go, "Pfft," and I'd change it. But that's me, because I've been doing this for 13 years. Because I've been a judge for however, because I'm a lawyer. You sent it to someone to whom this is so personal. And to whom this is her baby. I have 3 teenage daughters, okay? So I know, and this is a piece of her soul. It's so personal that when you send something like this, did it. So what happened? There's a series of emails back and forth where you couldn't be nicer. You're saying, you couldn't be nicer. You could be nicer. You couldn't be nicer.
I've been saying that for years.
Yes. I mean, right? That's kind of really the flavor I got. But he sends you, just change it. Do whatever you want to it. But you're not equipped to change it because you're not a lawyer and you don't know what to change. So you finally get a lawyer. And what's a lawyer tell you?
She says that you're losing all creative control.
All creative control.
And it doesn't even have me as the producer anymore, which Rocco had said to me.
Right.
From the very beginning. So
Now, clearly, she could have said to you, okay, these are the changes I want. And they probably would have said, okay. The one thing they had to protect themselves against was like 50-50 profits in case there are profits. I mean, they're businessmen.
Sure.
And, but it didn't happen.
No, and do
you know why it didn't happen?
Go ahead.
I think we all know why it didn't happen. Because you now felt, what?
that I couldn't trust their intentions to work equally because it was 2 against 1 I felt I was tricked.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So do you guys think there are power struggles in these charitable organizations?
Yes, I do.
Why do you say?
Well, I think it was 60 Minutes. They had the Goodwill, and they were showing that the CEOs made millions and millions of dollars, and then some of the employees only made 25, 30.
Well, there you go. Okay, well, that's fair enough. What do you think?
I think sometimes it's just the way that people are treated and favoritism, which should be all fair.
Do you think there's less favoritism in charitable organizations than any other business?
No. There is always everywhere. Not.
She's right. Going inside the courtroom.
I don't think they were trying to trick you. I think that, they're businessmen and they were doing business. And, but it doesn't matter because what ended up happening is she doesn't want to work with you, period. And why doesn't she have a right to decide, I don't want to work with you without you sending her a $3,000 bill for something she had never agreed to pay for?
Absolutely does. 100%.
Well, that's your lawsuit. You're suing her for $2,900.
Correct.
Right.
Because then after that point, I had given Lisa plenty of opportunities. I said, listen, you don't want to work with me? That's okay. I said, here's a list. And we agreed upon a list of people's names and the amount that they had given, who are my personal friends and family that I picked off that list. I said, simply write a check to their name, mail me the checks.
Wait, you're talking about the checks that they pledged for the movie?
Correct. Because
You wanted her to return?
Because I would no longer be associated with it, so they're not going to support a movie.
Yeah, but where was that in the person's pledge?
they're pledging to support me and my family. They were pledging to support me personally making films, in addition to the cochlear implants and the awareness. But they did it because they were my friends, family, mom,
Now,
sister.
according to you, there was a very small percentage of his friends and family that were pledging, right?
12%.
Do you dispute that?
I do, because we have a list of names and we had mutual contacts that she automatically nixed off and said, I'm not returning those.
Has those pledges been collected?
Yes.
Is there anybody who wanted their money back?
Yes.
A few.
Did you give them their money back?
No, because we got this bill.
What propelled you to send a bill?
After that point that I realized that I wasn't going to get anywhere with getting the pledges back from my family and friends, I had then said, well, then if you don't want me on this project, then at least you can then compensate me for the work that we have done. Because
Did she agree to do that?
No.
Right.
No. So at that point then I had said, I sent her an invoice, which I have here for the breakdown too, if you need to see it again.
Nope. Here's what I want to know. On November 21st, I see an email from Ralph. I was never aware that script approval was a criteria for signing the agreement. Did I miss something? We asked for a signature or any changes numerous times and were put off. Now it appears that the rules have changed and the facts that we have a great deal of time, physical production, and sweat equity invested in this project to raise money to get it to where it is today are being completely discounted. We have acted in good faith to develop trust within the team to make a great film together. I'll need to get the agreement and any other agreements or contacts, either written, oral, or implied, that are attached to this film before I can move forward with confidence. I don't blame you. You want to do business the way you want to do business. But I don't blame her. She wants to do business the way she wants to do business. So I expect you all to just pick up your marbles and go home and stop playing with each other. I don't expect you to come to court and decide that you're going to put in place a contract for hire that didn't exist. How is it you come to court and expect me to force her to pay you $2,900? I think you might have a point that all those people who pledged might be able to go sue her. Right. Because they pledged thinking they were helping you out, they were giving you business. So, but you don't have standing to sue for them. They have to sue for them.
Right.
You guys had nothing in place, and that's how this works. I know this, and you know this. Yeah. You work like this on the hope that something will happen. And sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. But you cannot pretend, go back in history, and then say, well, we just did this because so if we'd known that we weren't going to have a future contract, then now we want our bill. That's not how it works, because I can only enforce what actually existed, not what you wish in retrospect you had done. Verdict for the defendant. Good luck. And do me a favor. Will you please send the People's Court a copy of it?
Sure, we will be
Thank
glad.
you.
Well, the defendant wins this verdict here in the People's Court. Come on out here. Step right next to him. What's your reaction in this outcome here?
A little sad, you know, when you put that much time and effort and something I'm doing for a family member, it's kind of upsetting, you know.
Where do you go from here? Do you stick with this as a goal? Maybe do your own thing, or what?
Well, we've been doing our own films, and we'll continue to make our own films.
On this subject?
No, not this subject.
What about on this subject?
You never say never, right?
Never say never.
Okay. Then head right down this way.
Thank you.
Never say never. Okay, come on in, and if you would just step right next to me right here. You win this case. What do you think? What do you think he was? Don't you think his motives were good?
No.
No, I don't.
You don't? What do you mean? Why not? Why don't you think
If
so?
he wants to sue us for almost $3,000, but it was his intentions to help his niece. Now, there's obviously no.
There was some testimony in there about the other contributors on the Kickstarter website and the possibility that his followers might come after you at that point. What's your concern about that?
Well, this is evidence that didn't come up in court, but he sent me a list of contributors who he wanted me to refund their money all directly to him, to send him the check, which I didn't feel
that.
comfortable. So that was dishonest.
All right, well, good luck with the project. Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Okay. Both of you, all right. Now, Harvey?
Okay.
So if you agree not to get a fee for your work and then you end up doing the work, I'm telling you, just forget about it. If things don't work out, almost always you are out of luck if you want to try and get money after the fact. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.